Call this meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Can we have a roll call, please?
Village President Detloff,
Here.
Mr. Morgan,
Present.
Ms. Norwalk, Ms. Quinn,
Here.
Ms. Wackerlin,
Here.
Ms. Sweet.
Present.
Do we have a motion to approve village board minutes as presented dated 12/01/2025?
Village Board minutes from December 1st, 2025. I'll second.
Okay, motion to approve previous meeting minutes from December 1st. Motion is made by Ms. Sweet,
Yes.
seconded by Ms. Quinn,
Yes.
Mr. Morgan,
Yes.
Ms. Norwalk,
Yes.
Ms. Wackerlin. Did I get everybody?
You all set?
Okay.
On the agenda tonight, we have Mr. Jeff Daniels.
Yes,
Sir,
well, thank you for allowing me to talk. Reason I'm here is because the village employee doesn't seem to know his job, doesn't do it very well. And that would be the one who does the plowing of the alleys and streets. I don't know if anybody here ever checks up on him to make sure the job is done correctly and properly. But I know where I live, I have shoveled my new driveway. I've got a 4-car driveway and it leads right to the alleyway, so I can make my exit out. I not only shovel my driveway, but I shovel a 10 by 10 foot spot in the alleyway to make sure it's free and clear, so anybody that does that path there, you go right through. And he deliberately comes through after I've done this, plows my driveway back in and blocks the alleyway where it has to be shoveled back out, cleared down to the road. And this time he went to the front yard with one of me was just, which I don't care, I've got a big yard. And I've got a complete field in my backyard, and then a complete field on the other side where he can just simply, by 2 strokes, just turn the plow to either direction to direct the snow into those areas where it will not affect anybody or anything. And it not only help me, but it will help everybody on that block. There's 3 garages on that alley that lead out. That's the only way out. I can't really park in front of the house because there's not, I allow for schools and people out front. So I kind of leave that open. We don't use the front at all. But I take it very seriously because now I'm getting older and it's more and more tiresome for me to keep doing this all the time. And sometimes I have to do it 2 or 3 times a night during this. And he was called and asked a couple questions. He got a whole adjourned. So my wife had talked to him at that time because I didn't even see him or know. And he got a little bit rough back. And I'm like, you know what? As a village, we take care of him. He takes care of us, supposedly. Well, that's not the case. I don't know if anybody has seen the streets, but I've driven up and down the streets and I see where, like the intersections, it's way too high and you can't see past, especially like Kurt Bennett House. And to me, he's not doing a very good job. I'd just like to ask for his termination over this. I understand that he has the village truck and he takes it home. If he calls off, do we get to use that truck? Or if he has it with him in his house, I don't know why he gets to take it home. Is it part of the salary? Or it should be part of the salary if he's going to be taking it home, because we are responsible. I'm sure we pay the insurance, we pay the upkeep on the truck, we pay for all the maintenance on the truck. Let's say, perhaps, I don't know where he lives, but I know it's not the village. Okay, he's out from another town, and this has happened in the past, where he gets into an accident coming into work. Somebody is severely hurt. Now they're going to go after us because they find out that it's a vehicle from the village, and villages have money supposedly. So they're going to assume that they're going to take over ours. So I think it's something to really look at. If it's a vehicle, it should stay here in the town. It shouldn't be out anyplace else other than that. If you do, I would make it part of the sale, make him responsible for insurance. And get him back. But I feel that the man should be fired because he can't do the job as well. And there's plenty of proof. If you go out there and look today, you can still see the snow mounds on it. You would drive past my house and see where he shoved it in my front yard, which I don't really care. Front yard, you know, I take care of it in the springtime. But man doesn't know what he's doing. This is not the first time it's happened. This is the first time I'm bringing it to your attention. If you don't know, you can't do anything about it. So that's why I'm bringing it to your attention today, so you can be aware, and maybe you can check up on it. Or I don't know if we have a streets and sanitation department that follows up on people that do the job.
Well, we spoke on the phone,
Yes.
that when this happened, and I did go over and talk to him, concerning this.
Okay.
So, as of right now, I mean, he drives the truck home because he's a department head. We do the same thing with the police department. So, I mean, he drives a vehicle home and that was,
Or we can spot.
yes, it's a vehicle owned by the village. So-
What happens?
Well, it'd be no different than if he had an accident here in the village.
I understand, but it's still, we get more control for it. It's out of the village. Can you understand?
No, sir, I don't.
Oh. So, if it's in the village, yes, I can see, but if it's an accident, it happens in the village, okay, that's funny, that's, because he's on village property, he's a village employee. But if he's a village employee, let's say in, Mantino, it's from Mantino, and it's out on 9,000 where he should be, how can we justify that, say, hey, well, he was having to come into work, but he couldn't because he can't have, somebody severely got hurt. Now, our insurance is gonna say, well, why is he out of town? Why is this happening? You know, and it goes before jury, jury's gonna say, hey, village is responsible. That's it. Okay.
Well, I understand your concern. At this time, I will not terminate the employee.
But at least I make you aware of the fact that he's down. So therefore, again, I'll be from the village and say, hey, listen, then we can start applications.
And this is all recorded, as you speak, and then it'll also be put in the newspaper, so there is a record of your concern.
I appreciate it.
I appreciate your time, sir. Is there anything else?
That's it.
Okay, thank you, sir. Do we have a motion for approval of bills for payment and payroll?
Yes, I move to approve bills for payment dated December 11th, 2025 from the corporate general fund in the amount of $18,930.19. Also dated December 11th from the Fest Fund, $25. Also from December 11th from the TIF account, $111,582.50. Also move to approve payroll ending December 6th in the amount of $21,878.33.
Second.
Does anybody have any questions about either of any of the bills? Okay,
Yeah.
okay, we're good.
Okay, motion to approve bills for payment is followed. Dated December 11th, general fund $18,930.19. Out of the Fest Fund, $25 even. And out of the TIF account, $111,582.50. Out of payroll ending December 6th in the amount of $21,878.33. Motion was made by Mr. Morgan,
Yes,
seconded by Ms. Woodham,
Yes.
Ms. Millard,
Yes.
Ms. Quinn,
Yes.
Ms. Wacko.
So, at this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Jason Martin, he's a nominee to fill a vacancy that we have on our village board. Mr. Martin, would you please stand? Mr. Martin also owns the toy store here in town. Does the village board have any questions for Mr. Martin?
Okay. Nice meeting you.
Do we have a motion to accept him to fill our vacancy as trustee?
Okay, motion to approve the appointment of Jason Martin as village trustee. Motion is made by Ms. Wheel,
Yes.
seconded by Ms. Quinn.
Yes.
Mr. Morgan,
Yes.
Ms. Novak, Ms. Wacom.
Yes.
Mr. Martin, please join us at the table.
Greg is for it.
You could sit here and it's a tiny room.
Yeah. Yes. Still, that's good. It's nice and warm again.
Stay standing, I need to swear you in. Sure. Okay, if you would raise your right hand, please state your name for the record,
Jason Mark.
and please follow my words. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties
of trustee for the Village of Grant Park
of trustee for the Village of Grant Park
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Congratulations,
Thank
Jason.
you.
Jason will be filling for streets and alleys. After the meeting, I will introduce you to Mr. Dykema and we'll set up a meeting at the maintenance department. Okay. Mr. Dilton, do you have anything?
Not cooking business, but, one other side job that I have is co-chairman for the Christmas Day Incorporated Grant Park location. Just wanting to make aware that, we are serving as a group a total of 10 locations throughout Kankakee County. This has been an organization that's been doing this for 30 years. We serve in the vicinity of 1,500 meals, absolutely free to anyone that would like to attend. It is not for any particular segment of people. It is for everyone. This year we are trying to really emphasize those people that will be alone for Christmas. Whether it's a lost spouse or whether it's just your children are out of town and whatever, and the parents are home, no one's there. We invite you to come down and socialize with everyone else that's down there. There are reservations that are required and strongly requested, basically, so we prepare enough food for everybody. The meal is prepared by our local Bennett Curtis House for all locations. It is turkey, ham, stuffing, mashed potatoes and gravy, cranberry sauce, salad, vegetables, and pie for desserts. And we also do have a few little raffles that go on, giveaway raffles for different places and different things throughout. We serve from 11 until 1 o'clock. Reservations can be made by calling area code 815-614-2697. The deadline is noon, Friday, December 19th for making those reservations. And please don't call at 12:01 because they shut the phone down at noon. Reservations also can be made here by contacting the village hall. She's got a list. If you prefer not to call, just contact the village hall here and they'll put you on the list. And this is not just for in our particular town. If you would like to help serve or a variety of different little jobs for this 2-hour period, we welcome you to come down. That's how I got involved in the first place, just by volunteering down there, and it's quite fun. You meet a lot of people and you socialize with everyone while they're there. So that's basically my spiel.
Thank you very much, sir. Attorney report, I do have something from Mr. Sanchi. We will be closing on the sale of some property. which is 12393 East State Road 1 and 17, better known as the Pippin property, and that we'll be closing on that on the 22nd. From the engineer, from Neil Piggish, our lowering of the gas line here on Taylor Street and Main Street will be done early next month, early in January, and that will open the door up for the start of the streetscape project in the spring. So we had to lower the gas line first to get this project in. Miller Pipeline has did a very good job of making the village aware of what they're going to do. They have parked some of their equipment by the police station. They have been very courteous and easy to work with, so I'm very happy for that. Ordinances and Insurance Committee Chairperson Susie Weedle. Great. Thank you, ma'am. Streets and Alley Committee Chairman Jason Martin. Jason is just starting tonight.
Yeah.
So we're gonna give him, we're gonna get him set up with the maintenance guys, and at our next meeting, he will have a report for us. Finance Committee Chairman Gary Morgan.
On Tuesday, January 20th, when the second meeting for the board is held on Tuesday that time, I'm going to hold a finance committee meeting starting at 5:30, and we're going to determine what the revenue budget should be for FY27. What we'll do after the committee meets and recommends the revenue budget, we'll probably have a motion during the actual meeting then that starts at its usual time of 6:30 to probably accept that so that we can start moving ahead with the expenditure budget, which usually takes February, March, and we finish it up in April. Again, for those of you who are new, our fiscal year starts May 1st. So that's when we really like to have the budget done. Okay, that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. Community Outreach Chairperson Jody Wacker.
So, it's gonna be just a quick, simple ceremony, just thank them for coming to our community, providing the service, and just kind of welcome their business here. If any of the other board members are available to attend, that would be fantastic. It's in the middle of the day, so. The Fest Committee meetings will be always held on the first Wednesday of the month. Just a rule of thumb, so there's no confusion on that, which would put the next meeting January 7th at 6 p.m. And it will always be held at the community center unless it's otherwise rented or not here. I also would like to talk about the recent Harbor House project. Those of you that don't know what Harbor House is, it is an organization that supports domestic violence throughout Kankakee County. They offer emergency shelter, 24-hour hotline, a chat line. They offer group counseling, individual counseling, family counseling, as well as much more support through like court and things like that. Recently, Mayor and I had the opportunity to speak with the board of directors from Harbor House. We were able to listen to testimonials from domestic violence survivors. It was a very humbling experience. We also learned that throughout 2025, they had to turn away over 730 individuals, which means that not only was their facility full, but at that point, 730 different people were ready to get the help they needed, only to be turned away because there wasn't enough room at the facility. And most of these people were children. As those of you who recall at the last meeting, Chief Andrew passed out a breakdown of the different reports and calls around the town. And domestic violence is something that is here in our town. The numbers might not be as great as larger communities, but it is still something that is affecting our families and our friends that live here in this town with us. The main reason I want to bring this up is because they are currently doing, they're building a 12,000 square foot facility program. This is a massive building. This will help them be able to help more people, take in more people. They will have more family units and more family units that will help accommodate larger families, families with more kids, you know. More office spaces, more opportunities for counseling, just to help, be able to help the people that they need to. As we all know, buildings are not free. They did get a grant that is covering a large portion of this, but they're still not quite there. As something that does affect our community, as community representatives, I think there is something that we can do to help. I am open for suggestions, but I do believe we can offer them some type of monetary donation towards this project. And I do have a pamphlet with me if anybody else had further questions on that project. Sure. Okay. I also want to just make a motion to approve the fest expenses for the Canada Funeral Labor. Filing of the sponsorship letters not to exceed $375. The band, which is $600, and the liquor license of $5.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion to approve the fest expenses listed as $375 for the mailings, $600 for the band, and $25 for the liquor license. Motion is made by Ms. Wackerly. Seconded by Mr. Morgan.
Yes.
Ms. Nowak,
Yes.
Ms. Quinn,
Yes.
Ms. Wheel.
Yes.
Just one other comment. I was on the board of directors for Harbor House for 10 years. I was president for 4, and I highly recommend monetary support of their, what they do is very important. It's surprising how many people are victims of domestic violence in Kankakee and Iroquois counties. So I think that this is definitely something we want to support.
God.
I have a brief comment. January 8th, Miss Wackerlin and myself are going to tour the facility. And we have a meeting, I believe, January 5th. I'd like to have on the next meeting, if we could put on the agenda that we could help out Harbor House in some way. It would be up to the board, and we can formally vote at that meeting. And then when we go to Harbor House on the 8th, we could take a check and present it to them. Now, we cannot do the same thing as other communities have done. Mayor Curtis, we talked with him, and they made a large donation, and he understands that we're a smaller community, but I think in somehow we can help out. So does anybody have any suggestions or a dollar amount? Because we'll need to vote formally on this at the next meeting.
$1. Is it possible that we involve more of the community and do a supplies drive as well, so that we don't just come over there with a singular thing, but I'm sure there are other people in the community who love to donate things that these people need. I mean, I know they make the small kits and things like that, the baby toothbrushes and travel sized items, so maybe it's not another idea. So even if we might not come with huge money, we have big hearts. So as much as we can do to help out.
You know, when you hear the stories, you don't really think about it unless it's knocking on your door. But
Sure.
when families get turned away, and where do they go? And they're facing the same difficulties that they were when they asked for help. And I know that does not you're not conquering the stem of the problem by saying, well, we'll make a bigger facility. But until we can come up with an answer, we have to do something for the people that get turned away.
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna let Miss Wackerlin handle this. I'm there as her support system on this. We are gonna tour the facility. If somebody would like to do something, I would like to see it on the agenda at the next meeting, the 5th. And maybe we can finally come up with something because we would have to vote on it.
Idea about. Try. Okay. Maybe we could start that up after the holidays and then cabin fever.
Well, yeah, that would be a really good try. Someone could have like a donation class. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, something like that. Right now, everybody's just so,
Right, absolutely.
it's holidays. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look for a way to, incorporate more community members than just, us at the table. I'm sure there's plenty of people that would want to help.
So if you have ideas, I would suggest maybe you can either contact myself or Miss Wackerlin.
Monetary, are we looking at, $500?
I think anything that we give them would help. They did, as Ms. Wackerlin said, they did get a grant that's covering part of the construction of the building. Some of the other towns have already given. And as we talk to their board of directors, they understand every town can't do the same as the next town. But I think anything that we do would be a help. So I would say, sir, did you have something?
Yeah, whenever you're finished.
Go ahead, sir.
A lot of people may not be aware of Harbor House or that they're even around, something like that. Would they possibly set up a booth at our dinner on Friday or in February? Do they do something like that, the Cabin Fever Reliever, and just sit there, answer questions, have a bucket out there for donations and things like that? There's a possibility.
When we had the senior fair here earlier this year, Harbor House was here. Jim Rose said, we have a number of people that are going to be there, and Harbor House was one of them. And they explained, what they do for the community. I think people have heard the name, but they don't understand, the full purpose of what they do. So anybody else have any questions concerning this? So what we'll do is we'll table these ideas at the next meeting. We'll come up with something more solid, and then we can present the idea when we go to visit them on January 8th. Is that acceptable to the board? Okay. Ms. Wackerlin, do you have anything else? Thank you very much. Building and Grounds Committee Chairperson Julie Quinn.
I have two things today. I'm gonna vote to approve some carpet cleaning that the police department needs. I'm just wondering if this is for actual cars, should be carpet cleaning car.
No, it's actually for the building. We just walk around our police station, we look at it and I said, boy, it hasn't been cleaned in 12 years that I've been there.
No.
So I looked at that and then I said, well, we're not village hall, so I had the guy present that quote you see. And obviously we're mounting a lot of it, we have a downstairs, upstairs, and
Right.
carpet gets, hope it survives cleaning. It's been there a long time. But, I think it's probably a good thing we should do every 4 or 5 years maybe. And it's been a long, long time. So I think $500 is pretty reasonable. So I think we need to get that done.
Well, I would like to make a motion to approve this carpet cleaning. 500, you said, because there's two numbers on mine.
Yeah, 500, yeah.
Okay, so 500 includes the village hall,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
To approve for the carpet cleaning experience by All American.
I'll second that. Love clean carpet.
Same.
Motion to approve the carpet cleaning experience at this department and the village hall not to exceed $500. Motion is made by Ms. Quinn,
Yes.
seconded by Ms. Weedle.
Yes.
Mr. Morgan.
Yes.
Ms. Nowak.
Yes.
Ms. Packer.
Thank you. The second thing I have is I wanted to update you on my chicken liaison information position that I've taken on. So far, I have visited a commercial egg producing large chicken farm. I've also seen a large scale free range organic chicken farm. And I have visited two friends, or well, they're actually other fellow teachers. One in St. Anne and one in Frankfurt, both of them incorporated. One of them has way too many chickens. The other one I thought was an exceptional number. So I'm glad to know that after learning and visiting actual chickens and their farms and their keepers, I'm glad to know that we do have a set limit, because obviously that can get a lot really fast. I also went to a poultry farming agricultural science event with our ag sciences teacher that I work with. And I learned a lot about the different types of female chickens and what can happen when there is no rooster involved. And it's a whole thing. So I'm glad that I went and learned about all this stuff, because I would not be able to uphold my liaison position if I did not. So I want to let you know of the next steps that I have with my little chicken. The kids were not entertained. They thought it was a scary chicken, but I've
Scary.
it is. It's, you know, but I think he's cute. The next steps are to read other community ordinances. There's a couple that are within Kankakee County that are different from those in Will County. So over Christmas break, my plan is to sit down and read and determine the differences between one county versus the next. And then with Chief's assistance, we can schedule our chicken check-ins and make sure that our
Like, and.
if we don't bring the joy, there isn't any, friends.
Yeah.
So we can schedule those as well as poultry pop-ins. I've asked Carrie to put both of these things into our village newsletter to ask for people, and so I'm also asking for other residents that would like to schedule your poultry pop-in, so you can get your permits and be, all fully legal in the village. That'll go out in the newsletter in January. So, any questions about chickening? I don't know if that's the right word, but
You got all your chickens in a row. Right.
yeah, I don't think you can put chickens in a row. Not that I've seen.
Possible.
I've been to a lot of places, and yeah. So no, I don't think they can go without.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. That was very informative. I think we don't need to worry about a golf simulator, because there's way too much work to do with chickens.
Yes.
So,
Sorry about that.
but we will keep it on the agenda for future.
Excellent. I didn't.
Ms. Quinn, is there anything else?
No, there is not. Any other questions about the chicken ordinance?
Thank you very much.
You're
That was very informative. Lauren, Law Enforcement Committee Chairperson Angie Nowak and Police Chief Carl Fry.
Or want to try to. To meet with chief. Go over some that he feels is necessary for.
I just have a couple things. We had Shop the Cop on Sunday, Lauren. We all had fun. We took a lot of kids from town. So it's a really nice program. Also, I had Trustee Morgan and President Detloff come over. I was approached some IT people that could do our IT maybe cheaper than what we're getting it now. We had a quote from our current computer company to replace our server. And we've talked about this many, many times. So quote from him is roughly $34,000 to replace our server. There's other towns. 1,000, yes. So I talked to some other departments in Kankakee County. They're using the Kankakee County IT guys that work for the county. And through the county, they would come out and they do the same services. So they came out and met with us. We explained what our needs were. They went through a whole thing, and roughly we'll have to get together a total proposal, but the server would cost $3,400. All the other, there's some other essentials that are routers and things like that for the police department, for the Wi-Fi, things like that. We also talked at length about, as we have the new park coming, we would love to have a camera at the new park, as the new park goes in. And there's a way to do that from the maintenance building. Once we have, and I don't know how reliable their internet is, JD could probably talk.
Susan's here.
Yeah, so once we get a probably more reliable internet, maybe after ribbon cut, we could hook up. There would be like an antenna on the maintenance garage. There would be another antenna over there. As long as it's line of sight, it's relatively inexpensive, probably about $500. The only thing we would have to get at both parks, that park as well as Tulsa Park, is power. I talked to a friend of mine that is retired from Commonwealth Edison. He said all you'd have to do is, it's at those houses there, you just have to contact Commonwealth Edison, they could probably drop a line to it and put a meter there. So it involves a pole and a meter and things like that, but I think it's essential in our village as we move forward with, we have a lot of video, the village hall has video, the park has video, although there's no Wi-Fi there, so we have to go into the building to access it. I think it's essential that we have them at the new park. It's essential that we have them at the other park. It protects our equipment, protects our interests. So I think moving forward, this is something we do. We did buy what's called a Verkada camera. Probably don't see it, but if you look now, you'll see it. As you go outside of town, right before you get to Hamilton Drive, it's on the right side on a pole there. We can access anybody walking on the path. We can access that program, and I could type in red car, and it'll show me every red car that went back for the last 2 weeks. So it helps us with hit and runs, investigations that we need. It's a useful thing. The nice thing about that camera is it is cellular. So if we decided to get other cameras like that, they operate cellularly. So put it on the pole, all you need is power. And we could move that one around, put it somewhere. They're not necessarily PTZs, which is pay and zoom, they don't move around. But I think inexpensively, we could put some cameras at the new park, both new parks, and even enhance the ones that we have at our current park. That server can handle some more. I'd like to see some more toward the basketball, pickleball courts, and other places in the park. But I think that's where we're going in the future. I could tell you, I deal a lot with Mantino. They're very helpful with us with equipment that they don't need, but they probably have 500 cameras in their town. And I think that's the way for the future. And I think for us, protecting our interests, we need to move in that direction. Getting back to the server, our server's they've been telling us for years that our server needs to be replaced.
Yeah.
So I think, Gary is kind of our IT expert at this point. So we all sat down and talked about this, and they told us what they believe our needs to be. And I think, you can pay a lot of money and buy a server, or you can pay a little bit of money and get just about the exact same thing. So all this, I gave them the sheet from the other person, showed all the statistics on the server and all the bells and whistles that it had. Theirs would be the same thing. And they recommended getting a little bit more than what we need, because I think moving forward, you don't want to buy what you need today, you want to buy what you need tomorrow. And I think we need to start thinking about moving in the right direction with our computer systems. A couple of our computers need to be replaced, things like that. Not a lot of cost. We're talking like $500 and $700 per computer. But I think, with the upgrade in internet systems, it would just make our camera system more efficient. So just something to think about. We need to add.
One comment, at the meeting, we talked about, just so the board realizes, we want to invest into our future. We don't want to have to upgrade every year or next year, say we need to do this. Compared to the cost of the other company, it's a fraction. The gentleman will explain to us that we would only be charged for what we would need. We wouldn't be buying things that they were trying to sell. So it was a very productive meeting, even like having cameras at our new park in the back. The village has a huge investment in this park, and we have no way to protect it. And I know we have police, but you're not going to have a policeman station at the park in the back. So if we had a camera, we would be able to at least keep an eye on things. There is a camera at the water treatment plant, but that's inside the facility. It wouldn't do us any good at our new park. So we are looking at different options. When we get some hard figures, we will present them to the board for board's approval. But I think we need to move forward and invest in our future and not always try to play catch up. So anything else, Chief?
No, that's all I have.
Ma'am, anything else? At this time, I would like to wish the village board a Merry Christmas. Everybody in our community, we won't be meeting until January 5th. So I hope you have a safe and wonderful holiday. Santa Claus came by and dropped some treats off. He said, "Are there any good boy or girls?" I said, "Keep going, because you're in the place." But anyway, he says, "I'm not taking them with me." So I said, "We'll just leave them here then." At this time, though, I'm going to ask the board, is there a need to go into executive session?
No.
If not, do we have a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.
All in favor? I thank you very much, everyone.